mouth ass up.
Blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. We got to keep in mind that KP Podcast is a global show, and today we'll be discussing armed man with AR-15 style rifle breaches, attempts to breach Cincinnati FBI office. We'll discuss that and more right after these brief messages.
Be one to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, this is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing two critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you ask? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health, loss of life, and on the economy. And ultimately the solution to the problem, it is imperative that the United States government declare anti-Black racism a public health crisis for foundational Black Americans. In 2020, as a community, Asian Americans experienced only 287 hate crimes nationwide. However, FBA in the same year suffered 2,871 reported hate crimes. As we know, those are just the reported accounts according to the F.B.I. As foundational Black Americans, we know that the number should reach in the billions daily. This resulted in a 94-1 unanimous decision to pass into law an anti-Asian hate crime provision to make Asian a protected class. With anti-Black racism being thousands of times more prevalent and permeating within the fabric of America, we ask that you sign this petition to say we are sick of studies and commissions to study forums and meaningless holidays and nothing burger symbolic gestures. We demand the U.S. government to urgently disperse the first initial reparations cash payment of $20 trillion to the surviving descendants of American chattel slavery. AKA, cut the damn check. And I mean that. Jack. On my ancestors for real for real. I proudly digress. Anyway, check out the new Slave Patrol documentary. Pull up season on you sucker MCs. Don't forget to join us on Patreon. I got 4 words for you. Go grab a shirt. And love, peace, blessings and Meloa. Be one.
Music TV.
All right, y'all. This is NBC News, CNBC News. Armed man who was at Capitol on January 6th is fatally shot after firing into an FBI field office in Cincinnati. Suspect was armed with an AR-15 style rifle when he fired into the FBI office building with a nail gun. So he didn't shoot with the AR-15, he shot the nails instead. Okay, this is by Alicia Fieldstance, Ken Delirian, Tim Stilo, and Ryan J. Riley. God, dog, you needed all them people to get on this to put together the all cap. Let this bum shepherd pie Go ahead and tell y'all.
And warnings out for the safety of FBI agents across the country. A man armed with an AR-15 style rifle tried to breach an FBI office today. And now we're learning he had been at the Capitol on January 6th for the insurrection. Two officials familiar with the matter told that to NBC News just last hour. Police in Ohio gave an update moments ago. They say an hours-long standoff ended with the suspect when he pointed a gun at officers.
Officers tried to move in using less lethal tactics. They up in custody. Suspect firearm for law enforcement. Shots were fired.
Went to the visitor's entrance of this Cincinnati FBI field office. That was just after 9 o'clock. They
Well, let me get this straight. So had he had not raised a weapon, so you knew he was armed, not suspected he was armed, not thought about he was armed, not could he be armed, not 50-50 chance he's armed. You knew 100% that he was armed, and still you were looking to use non-lethal means to arrest this obvious race soldier. As they already let you know, he was at the insurrection on January 6th to try to overthrow the government. He was there. He was there. See, they think they'll throw that mess up. Overthrow this, overthrow that. Whatever it is, it's more important than reparations. See, that's what they want you to think. There's always something more important. Global warming. There's not going to be a planet to give you reparations. We got to save the planet first. Otherwise, there's not going to... If we give you reparations for what? There's not going to be a planet.
say he fired a nail gun at law enforcement personnel, held up that AR-15 style rifle, then took off.
So the nail gun, that wasn't lethal enough. If you're a black man with a cell phone in your hand, shooting you. You drive away, you run away, we're shooting you in the back because we're still fearful of our lives, even though you're running away. But be Dwight and I say so? Oh man. And said he still lifted up the AR-15.
Off in a car after an alarm started firing. Cops say a state police officer spotted that car on a highway about a 25-minute drive from the FBI office. They say they started chasing the driver, fired at least one shot during the pursuit. About a 20-minute drive from there.
After him shooting nails, after him now shooting live rounds, ammunition, slugs in the direction of the police in order to terminate their lives, they still were reluctant to shoot the race soldier.
In Clinton County, they say the man jumped out of his car, exchanged fire with, and ran into an area.
Jumped out of his vehicle. Where's all this dead-eye, bullseye aim? When it's a black man, you know how to hit center mass. You know how to shoot right for the melon, blow out the brain so that y'all can have a story with the Negro trauma porn. I mean, you guys are aces. I mean, snipers. When it's a black man.
Surrounded by woods and corns. And after that, cops say they tried negotiating with him, but he refused.
Hold on. After exchanging shots, after a vicious standoff, a malicious firefight bullets whizzing through back and forth, GTA, they still, were willing to negotiate. That's our brother, race soldier in arms. He's a fellow slave patrol. We can't. He's for the cause. You see what he did for us? You see what that brother did for us? He's just having a bad day. He's just having a bad day. He's still good. He hasn't killed no one. Yeah. He shot at us, but that's just because he's having a bad day. That's all.
Then he pointed the gun at officers, and they shot and killed him. Now, to be clear,
every time I hear that, I think of Kamala Harris and her. To be clear, if you think I'm going to do something just for black people, no! But to be clear, he shot at the police multiple times and survived. There must have been cameras now there by the time the standoff was at the point where multiple rounds are being exchanged, and now it's on film, so now they have no choice but to blop you.
there's no word on his motive, but we cannot ignore this moment. The head of a private intelligence firm told NBC News his company has seen an uptick in threats against FBI personnel and facilities since the Mar-a-Lago investigation. Many commentators.
I'm not done with this, but what have we learned so far today, kids? Hey, sit back and drink our tea and focus on this reparations. Don't worry about that vote. Don't go and vote and just give your vote away for nothing. Huh? For the nothing the Democrats been giving you. The nothing burger. Hold out for the reparations. You see all this inner turmoil going on, right? Get your tea and sit back and relax. But make sure you got all your provisions. If you've been watching this show, then you know. Make sure you got you a Kit Kat in case you got to break somebody off. You know, you need this piece to get this piece.
Been railing against the Bureau, calling it politically weaponized. And the Republican nominee for governor of Arizona has called for the
mean
FBI
politically weaponized like when either party is in office? You mean politically weaponized like it's always against black people? You mean that? Politically weaponized that we're still talking about voting rights? No? Right? For black people who built this country? No? Yeah? Okay.
to be dismantled. Let's bring in the former FBI Special Agent Clint Watts, now a distinguished fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute and an NBC News national security analyst. Clint, we don't know what his motive was, as I said. We do know he was at the Capitol on January 6th. What does this altogether say to you about threat facing DOJ and FBI?
We don't know what his motive was. No, they got some inner fighting going on, and the Democrats want us to come save the day like always. Just like you got Stacey Abrams. If men would only come out, if black men would only come out and vote, we gonna win this thing. Win it for what? What's a win? That ain't no win. You calling it a win. It ain't no win. It's a swindle. It's a hoodwink. Frederick Douglass said the only way to get a man can get his freedom, the ballot box, the jury box, or the ammo box. P hashtag pull up season. You understand?
FBI.
Yep, I will also just add, I think you're going to see just in a few minutes some of the posts from this individual. So I'm not confirmed yet, but if you just look trend over the
tell me
last
what you know.
year, well, you're going to see just on social media some posts about this individual and his most. You're going to see that it is very much tied up in the rhetoric we see around this country right now, railing on the FBI. And I think it's
he went to that office because he's upset following all the rhetoric about the FBI. That's what you're saying.
That's what I believe. That's my opinion of it, and I think the evidence will bear itself out. Which you see across the board in this country right now is elected officials making false claims and pointing at the FBI. They are making claims that would be seen as stochastic terrorism. Rewind a decade, Shep, and you think about
No. What we're doing is fighting. What they do, fighting over the tactic to use against black people. That's what the fight is. It's your class North versus South again. Your Democrats versus Republican, but you're all the same. You're all the same. And don't think that I'm saying the Democrats are fighting for black people. I'm not saying that. No. No. What I'm telling you is, one, the Republicans is tired of hiding it. They don't want to hide the white supremacist agenda no more. We ain't hiding it no more. And the Democrats like, hold on, just do it this way. We've been tricking them this long. You see, we still get them every time. We fool them every time. Why wouldn't y'all just do it this way? You see, we keep our eye on the darkies. We give them a little something, a little checky check, and they all right. You see, they know they're going to spend it with you anyway. Right? No. Same bird. 2 wings. Same bird. No difference. Just one wants to hide it.
we came to this concept of what we call inspired terrorism. That was a guy named Anwar Awlaki. We would be here a decade ago talking about a cleric overseas working for Al-Qaeda, making claims saying that Americans should be attacked at places like shopping malls or at their homes. And instead, what we see today are elected officials around the country making false claims about FBI agents. Those are federal officials. Those are employees of the United States government. They supposedly are representing those individuals. You're seeing them make false claims, which then point individuals who are having grievances based on false conspiracies at targets. And that right now
Is that a case of the chickens coming home to roost, maybe? Like how all the lies have been spread for years about black people and all the attacks that happen on black people? Now you want to talk about the rhetoric? Now you want to talk about the propaganda? Because it done spilt to your lane? We don't want to hear it.
the FBI, number one target for all of this rhetoric, all based on false allegations from a former president and his supporters.
And you know, today, Congresswoman Liz Cheney tweeted she's ashamed to hear what she called these sickening comments. What impact does this have on agents with elected members of Congress publicly attacking their work without providing a shred of evidence to support one thing that they claim?
Several different things.
Welcome to America. What? Where you can try and convict an individual? What? Without proof? Without evidence? What? That happens in America? What?
Things, especially with federal law enforcement, FBI being the principal one, is the rule of law. People don't think they need to follow the rule of law because their leaders are saying don't listen to it.
What? Are you saying there's lawlessness going on in America? You said former president? Are you talking about the Republicans? It sounds like you're talking about white people. It sounds like you're talking about white people being lawless. Renegades. Criminals. Running wild like the Wild Wild West without rules and regulations. doing as they will across the nation without repercussions. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me. Do I
There's
say
some sort of
so?
rigged situations, claims are being made about the FBI and their conduct. I can tell you the search warrant you were talking about, Merrick, right before I on. I sure hope that search warrant becomes unsealed because they were trying to respect the privacy of the president, but the president is not respecting the rule of law, and he's not respecting the former President Trump. He's not respecting the rule of law, nor is he respecting the service of many federal.
What? A president not respecting the law and doing whatever he want to do? So, like, if a president wanted to sign in reparations, they really could if they really wanted to. Democrats? Huh? Big Daddy? Big Zaddy Jose Biden? Make it rain on everybody but black people?
Law enforcement officers who have done everything in their power. They already have a dangerous job. Our elected officials are making it even more dangerous. And I think that's this concept is still.
So it's not the black people in Chicago making the police job harder? Huh. So it's not the black people. It's not the people that you say that be resisting. No, that's not the people making the job harder. No, that's not them. Oh.
Stochastic terrorism, if you make threats and you start pointing people to targets, that's when you see violence break out. And I think that's all today.
They know there's a fire, and they are stoking it from the most loud megaphones that the nation has to offer. It is unprecedented. Clint Watts, thank you for your time.
It's unprecedented that we're going to do a full court press.
Special
White supremacy. They doing a full court press. They doing a full court press. But what they didn't say, why didn't they say his name? I didn't hear no demonization. I didn't hear none of that. You didn't say none of my man's tweets that put up. We can't hear about a tweet or nothing. No, you ain't gonna put that up, huh? Okay, I'm gonna at least say the boy's name, Ricky Walter Shiffer. Ricky Walter Shiffer. We're gonna put him up on the jumbo trying to show you, cuz, huh? Okay, what we gonna do is we like to hear you out, boy. Is there any images of him yet, huh? Is this him right here? Why he look like the born supremacy? Huh? He look real born supremacy, don't he? Uh-oh. If you don't hear from me, it's because I tried it to FBI. Huh? That they gave me hours, so much time to Ricky Shiffer 42, official race soldier. He said he's proposing a war against black people, his followers to be ready for combat. What? What? Huh? You see that, right? Just had to go ahead and go get that just a little bit. He with all the extremist groups, including the boys. That's right. Anti-black racism. Here we go. He's shooting through bulletproof glass. Look, I'm taking off the internet. People, this is it. I hope to call to arms. Look, comes from someone better qualified. He got his, look at him. He leave work tomorrow. As soon as the guns shop opens, you need to be ready. They talking about this tyranny, responding with force. If you know any protests or attacks, please post here. Look, don't take this. Donald Trump was my hero. Ooh, are in danger until we show the enemy how Americans do it. Who's the enemy? Who's the enemy? Who is he talking about? Who's the enemy? This was Truth Social. They little racist. Yeah, this from the little racist site, Truth Social. He said, "Better be ready for the enemy," and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, scold you, and fold you about being off code. If this don't get you to get on code, I don't know. He just told you it's a war. He aiming, he shooting. We just did the article, said they going for soft targets at grocery store. Black people. It was very specific. Black people. That's what he said he's going out for. Black people. I don't know. It doesn't get no more clear than that. He just told his people, arm up. And they didn't demonize him one time in the article. You just seen it. Not one iota. It didn't happen. You just seen it with your own eyes. All this whole time, y'all didn't even see all this posting that he had did. Here, let me show y'all again. You see, but that is him. Oh, born supremacy looking dude. Just real quick, I'll show you his little messages. That I was referring to real quick. That's it. I ain't on. Y'all see that, right? Okay. Read that. Okay. Bam. Just so you don't think I'm making this stuff up. This is him. Posted it. Can't accept all the tyranny. Bam. This time we must respond with force. Here we go again. Who is the enemy? Until we show the enemy how Americans do it. Who's he talking about? And I'm done. Love, peace, blessings, and Maloha. For sure, we out the door. Have a good day, y'all. Got nothing but love for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go sign the petition. You see it scrolling on the bottom. It's reparations. That's what we need to do. That's our focus. You're worrying about signing up for the vote, but you ain't signed up for your future. That's what you ain't did. And I'm serious, y'all. And I'm so sincerity.
Podcast where they take news, situations, and everyday occurrences
and show how one could or could not.
Keeping it on the P for real.
Gotta tune in to
Yo,
these
ladies
brothers.
and gentlemen, TZ Vaughn Savage and Jay Lava is in the fucking building.